And she shine like that chrome 4 bustin' in slow motion.
My 24/7 HH wild tour story would be when we met Andre 3000. We were driving from Medford, Oregon to Portland. Yeah, that's right. So I was driving, and Exile told me about this record store he used to go to because he lived in Eugene for a little bit. He was in Oregon when he was younger, and he said that he used to gank records from this one spot. He's like, you down to stop off the freeway and hit this record spot real quick? I was like, nah, bro. Honestly, I just want to get there. I already know that there's plenty of record spots out in Portland, so we can have plenty of time to dig over there. And then he's like, you know, it'd be a good memory for me. So I was like, is this spot dope? He's like, yeah, dude, I swear it's dope. And I was like, all right, bro, if it's whack, I'm going to be pissed at you. And we ended up going, you know, against my judgment, saying that we should just get straight to the spot, or our Airbnb. And we pull up, we hop out of the car. Exile's a little bit further ahead of us, and he sees a mutual homie, Carlos Nino. And that's who he had spotted first. And he realized that Andre 3000 was right there. We're all walking out of the car after him, you know, probably like 100, 200 feet away. So I lifted my head after we, came around the corner, and I saw Jordan 4s. And I know Three Stacks has been rocking his J's a lot lately with these fits that like are all similar with his beanie and whatnot. So I was like, wow, I didn't know how to react. I just was walking over there with him, and I didn't want to geek out. And it was evident that all of us didn't want to, show that we're fanning out. So we all went up, introduced ourselves, and I was like, yo, before you, and that's the thing, they were about to leave. I left that little part out. They were literally about to get in the car and go to the airport because they had a delayed flight, I guess. And I was like, before you guys leave, we got to get a flick. So we all, took a photo with them. And after we went into the record store, I couldn't even think straight. You know, like when your adrenaline's pumping and you're like, what just happened right now? You're kind of thinking about the event and you're replaying it in your mind. I'm digging through the records and I don't even know what I'm digging through. I couldn't hear anything that was going on when we met him in the first place. And Exile, I guess after when we were talking about it, he was like, yeah, I had talked to him about the debate that we had, because when we were driving out to Oregon, we were comparing Outkast and Tribe. Blue was like, who you got between Outkast and Tribe? So me and X immediately we were like, Tribe, that's who they were influenced by. I said that. I was like, there wouldn't be an Outkast if there wasn't, if we went without Tribe, basically. They were contrived from Tribe and being able to be themselves and, authentically showing who they are through their music. And he had mentioned that to Andre 3000. And, of course, like I thought, he was like, yeah, we grew up on Tribe. We used to always listen to Tribe. And I saw him for the BET Awards. No, not the BET Awards. When Tribe got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's talking about it. He's like, that's our Miles Davis, or, just it correlates, in that sense to hip hop. That's probably my craziest, most memorable tour story. This story, it was wild because it blew my mind. I at first I wasn't really feeling the plan of going to the record store, and Exile said it'd be a good memory for him. I was like, you know what? Might as well. It's not going to take that long to pull off the freeway and hit the record store. Then that happened. We're all heavily inspired by Andre 3000 or Outkast in general. So it was just incredible. My way was split, It was wild to me in a sense that I was not in the right state of mind from what had happened, in that moment, being able to meet somebody so prolific and legendary in Eugene, Oregon, out of all places, at a record store that we were just going to stop by, to give Exile that nostalgic feeling. And that happened. I couldn't believe it. I talked about it all day. And Fashion had mentioned, he was like, yo, we just saw Sasquatch. We literally just saw Sasquatch. And I was like, you're right, bro. That is a rare sighting. So that's what was so wild to me. After my nerves settled a little bit, or, you know, after my adrenaline wasn't pumping as tough and my heart slowed down a little bit, I was able to get a few digs in, and then I got a shirt as well. I got a shirt from the record store, because that's one thing. Whenever I go to record stores out of state, or just record stores I haven't been to, I'll usually cop a shirt. What up? This is Sirplus, repping the almighty Dirty Science crew, and you're watching 24/7 HH.